In this example, we are off to college and we're going to take a look at some different sampling methods here. So let's read the prompt and then see if we can figure out those different sampling methods. It says here that students in the dormitories of a university in the state of New York live in clusters of 4 double rooms called suites. There are 48 suites with 8 students per suite. What we're going to do now is we're going to describe a cluster sampling method for obtaining a sample of 24 dormitory residents. The way we're going to do a cluster sampling is we're going to break the population into different groups or clusters, and then we're going to choose only one or a few of those groups and survey everyone in each one of those groups. So let's think about this. We have to obtain a sample of 24 dormitory, we have to draw with a different tool here, 24 dormitory residents. And conveniently, we have 48 suites, which are groups kind of students, and there's 8 students per suite. So if we take 24 and divide it by 8, that's 3 suites that we're going to need to sample out of these 48. So basically what you're going to do with this is you're going to select, let's see here, try to spell correctly, select 3 out of the 48 suites randomly. Then survey everyone in those 3 suites. Okay, so to do this in your calculator, what you would do, and I'll go ahead and write this here on the right-hand side in a different color. And let's see here. So we'll do this. What we'll do is we'll go to your math key. Sorry, I don't have the calculator on the screen. So hit your math key on your TI-84 calculator, and then you're going to go to probability, or PROB. So you have to cursor to the right. It looks like 4 times to go to PRB. Some of you are going to have number 5 is going to be a random integer. That will probably work. And some of you will have number 8 as being rand int no rep, which means no repeat. Okay, so that's the one that, if you have that, that's the one that you want. If not, you can choose number 5. So I'm going to hit number 8, just hit enter, or you can hit number 8, and then you're going to see some things. So you're going to see lower, upper, and then you're also going to see n. The lower is going to be 1. That's the lowest number I want this the calculator to choose from. The upper is 48, and then n is the number of suites here that I need, so that's going to be 3. Now, if you hit that in your calculator is going to spit out 3 numbers. They should be different. If they're not, just do it again. If you've done random integer no repeat, they should not be the same. So my calculator is going to give me 3 numbers. Excuse me here. We'll just hit that again. I'm just doing this on the calculator while you're all paying attention closely to this video, right? And my calculator gives me this after I hit enter. So it uses like the curly braces, gives me 12, 25, and 18. So if you were actually doing this, what you would do is you would have already previously labeled each suite with an integer, 1 through 48. And then if you're going to do this study, you would try to find a time when every single one of those people is at home, and you would go to suite 12 and interview all 8 people in suite 12. Then go to 25, interview all 8 people there, and then go to suite 18 and interview all 8 people there. And then that would give you your 24 dormitory residents, which was what we wanted right up here. What about part B here? It says students typically choose friends from their classes as suite mates. With that in mind, do you think cluster sampling is a good procedure for obtaining a representative sample of dormitory residents? Let's see here. Well, I don't know if cluster sampling is going to be the best. What if you get just everybody that has the same opinion or thinks the same way, and other people in the dormitory don't think like that? So if you're only picking 3 of these suites and people select their own suite mates, the chances of them having the same opinion or ideas would be pretty high. So the answer to this question, I'm going to say, is no. Cluster sampling would probably not be a good procedure the suite mates, let's see here, may have similar ideas or opinions. That's one thing we have to be careful of here with cluster sampling. Sometimes it's convenient, right? You go to the room, there's 8 people there, and there you go. But sometimes it's not really ideal. It's not going to give us a representative sample of those dormitory residents. In part C, we have a little bit of a different situation here. So we're kind of getting away from the suite mate thing, I think. Let's read the prompt for C and see if we can figure this out. The university housing has separate lists of dormitory residents by class level. Okay, so we're not really concerned with the whole suite thing now. The number of dormitory residents in each class level is as follows. What type of sampling method would be the best? Explain why. How would you choose who to sample? Okay, so I think in this one, we're actually going to use stratified sampling. And I'll explain that here in a second, okay? So let's say stratified sampling would be the best, would be ideal. So here you are guaranteed, oopsies, a little misspelling there, guaranteed to get some freshmen, or let's say some people from each class, and the sample would be proportional to each, or that we'll say to the number of people in each class. So how would you do this? Well, in this case, you're going to find the total of all these people, which it seems to be, if I'm using my calculator correctly, 384. So let me write that down for you. So we've got the total here being 384. And then what you would do is you would take each one of these freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior classes, and you're going to divide them by 384. So we'll go 128 divided by 384, which is a third, or 0.33. And then you could do 112 divided by the total, 384. So we're getting the percentage of the population right now, which is about 0.29. And then you could do 96 divided by 384, and that would be 0.25. And then you would do 48 divided by 384 to get 0.125. And then let's say that you wanted a sample of 50 of these students. So what you would want to do here is you would multiply each one of those decimals by 50. So 0.33 times 50 is 16.5, so we'll round that to 17. And then we'll do 0.29 times 50, so that's 14.5. We rounded up before, let's round down for this one. And then 0.25 times 50 would be 12.5, so we'll maybe do 13. And then 0.125 times 50, let's see what that would be. So that's 6.25. So we could do 6 for this one. So this is what you would want in terms of your sample. So you would randomly pick 17 freshmen, randomly pick 14 sophomores, randomly pick 13 juniors, and randomly pick 6 seniors. And I think this would be a really nice method of getting a representative sample that keeps those proportions in check. If you did cluster here, you would wind up with all of one of the classes, and I don't think that would be too appropriate for this one.